wanaoanisha mahali wanatulia. Poleni sana kwa uzito wa mambo leo.
Tujitie nguvu tafadhali, tujitie nguvu tafadhali, tujitie nguvu ndugu wapendwa. Tunajua ni wakati mgumu na tuna imani kwamba Mungu ataweza kuwafariji. Poleni sana wazazi, poleni sana ndugu jamaa na marafiki. Mungu awape nguvu mnapopitia wakati huu mgumu. Taifa nzima la Kenya linasimama na nyinyi. Poleni, poleni. Tutakuwa tukianza ibada ya siku ya leo muda mfupi kutoka sasa, baada ya miili yote kuwasilishwa hapa ili tuweze kuanza ibada hii ya wafu. Asante sana Kenya Red Cross, ndugu zetu NYS, thank you very much. Tunafanya kazi nzuri. Tuendelee hivyo hivyo. Baada ya miili kufikishwa hapo, tunaomba kwa heshima wazazi waelekezwe sehemu ambayo wanafaa kuketi. Familia, ndugu na wapendwa, tafadhali ninaomba baada ya miili kufika katika sehemu ambayo inafaa kuwa, turejee polepole kwenye viti vyetu ili tuweze kuwa na wakati mzuri wa ibada. Poleni sana familia, poleni sana Utumishi Girls, poleni sana marafiki, poleni sana Wakenya kwa msiba huu mkubwa ambao umekumba taifa letu. Tunaomba tafadhali familia iruhusiwe baada ya miili hiyo kuendelewa katika sehemu inafaa, tafadhali kwa heshima tuweze kurejea kwenye viti vyetu ili tuweze kuwa na ibada. Viongozi wa kitaifa wamefika hapa kwa ajili ya kuomboleza pamoja.
As Kenya continues to mourn the devastating tragedy that claimed the lives of 16 students at Utumishi Girls Academy in Gilgil, new details have emerged that have left many Kenyans emotional. Behind the walls of the school stands a story of loss, sacrifice, resilience, and a father's determination to turn personal pain into a lasting legacy. In a deeply emotional address during a memorial service for the students who lost their lives in the tragic dormitory fire, the founder of Utumishi Girls Academy, former Deputy Inspector General of Police Edward Mbogwa, opened up about the untold story behind the school's establishment and revealed the heartbreaking reason why the ill-fated dormitory carried his daughter's name. His revelation moved mourners to tears as many learned for the first time that the dormitory destroyed in the fire was named after a daughter he lost years ago in a tragic road accident.
The First Lady of the Republic of Kenya, Mama Rachel Ruto, the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Education, Honorable Julius Migozi Ogamba, Her Excellency, the Governor of Nakuru County, Madam Susan Kihika, all the Honorable Senators, Honorable Members of Parliament, the Inspector General of the Kenya Police Service and the officers, and all the uniform officers present, the bereaved families and the parents and students of Utumishi Girls, the teachers and the people present who have attended this function to mourn with us. I want to take this opportunity on my own behalf, on my family, and the members of the BUM, which has already been dissolved, to convey my sincere condolences to the family, friends, relatives, and the fraternity of the Utumishi Girls. Our condolences following the death of our students who perished in this unfortunate incident. From that, I would like to say I have been seeing a lot in the social media talking about the school. They don't know how it started, but they were being told that the school was started by Edward Bogwa. That is true. I'm the one called Edward Bogwa. The school started, we started in 2018. I was in my first year as the Deputy Inspector General of the Kenya Police Service. I came for a prize giving day in July at Utumishi Boys. When I was there, one of the parents challenged us. He asked us, "You policemen, do you only give birth to boys and not to girls? Why did you build a school for the boys and you forgot about the girls?" Maybe the parent was not aware that when the boys' school started in 1993, it was a mixed school. But let alone, a decision was made to separate the boys and the girls. And that is how the school was separated. So I challenge the parent, if you are ready for us to build a school for the girls, I'm ready to read in starting the school. And then I donated Kenya shillings, 100,000 shillings to start the school. I challenge the parents and those people who are present this time to start contributing for the school. By the end of the contribution, we had only contributed 310,000, which I handed over for custody to Mr. Minor, the principal for Utumishi Boys. Later on, when I returned to the office, I wrote a signal to all my regional police commanders to sensitize the officers on the importance of having a girls' school. After some time, I saw that was not enough. The message was not conveyed in the manner which I expected the message to be conveyed. So I visited all the 8 regions, from northeastern to Nyanza, western, each and every region. Personally, I visited all those areas and talked to the officers, and their response changed, and they started contributing towards the girls. We started the construction of the school in September 2018. By the end of 2019, December, the school was complete, and I sought the registration of the school, which was inspected and duly filed to conform with the requirement of the Ministry of Education, and the school was registered. So we had our first intake in 2020, and we enlisted 96 girls that particular time. That's how the school started. After that, there were questions on how the dormitory, which was set on fire, was named after my daughter. Yes, it is true, it is named after her. What happened is that in June of 2021, my daughter was involved in a road accident in Nairobi, and she died at the scene. My friends and other people contributed to her funeral. After the funeral, I had excess money, and I told my family, this money is going to another cause, we are not going to use the money. So during Harambee, I donated 10 million shillings, part of which was my contribution, and part was the funds which were meant for the funeral of my daughter. I think I have made that clear. So those who have been asking what happened, that is exactly what happened. The next thing I want to say is that we should consider, I'm not aware why a decision was made that the students should learn as a mixed school from standard grade 1 up to grade 9. But when to go to grade 10, they are separated. After that, they finish grade 12. When they go to the university, once again, they come together. Even at home, we don't separate boys and girls. If you have both, you keep in the same home. So we should consider why there is that idea of separating the girls and the boys. Me, myself, I would recommend that they should be trained together. The other thing I ask, and I don't think, maybe very few people, not more than 10 of them, who do not bear the blame of what happened. Not necessarily at Utumishi girls, even in other schools where we have had these things. Because myself, I'm to blame. I started the school, and this is why this thing happened. The BOM of the school was also to blame. Why? They never complained that they had been given excess students who they could not comfortably accommodate and even have the other facilities. We never complained, even though we are told. And also you, I'm challenging you, who, when you are told that there should be 100% transition from junior secondary to senior secondary, I don't think there is anybody, including our members of parliament, who petitioned the government to give them time so that we could build enough classrooms, enough dormitories to accommodate our children. So, even the clergy, you are still there. And even I can also blame you, you are the people who started boarding schools and even schooling. Was it not started with the missionaries? Bishop, am I speaking the truth? Yeah, so everybody here is to blame for what is happening. We should check that and have dialogue. Note what went wrong, because these are not the first fires to happen in our secondary schools. And then when we sit down and dialogue, we find the way forward. And when we find the way forward, we sit down and implement what we have found is the cause of the problem. Without that, we will be repeating, coming here, talking, and then without any progress. The other thing I think I would recommend is that we should have day schools. Those dormitories can be converted to workshop for training, and we should also try to make the schools within our area the best schools. But the problem is we don't have a good school in a certain area. So the student will travel from Nyanza, Migori, he wants to go to Alliance. Another one is traveling from Kapengoria, he wants to go to Mangu. But if there were good schools in that area, there would be no need of taking your child from the farthest head in Kware, taking her to Marada Boys in Nyanza. So those are some of the recommendations I'm making to you to be considered by the government so that we can be able to improve. Thank you, and may the Almighty God keep the departed souls in eternal peace. Thank you, and God bless.
According to Mbogwa, the idea of establishing Utumishi Girls Academy was born in July 2018. At the time, he was serving in his first year as Deputy Inspector General of the Kenya Police Service. During a prize-giving ceremony at Utumishi Boys High School, a parent stood up and asked a question that will change everything. The parent wondered why there was a prestigious school for boys under the police service, but no equivalent institution for girls. The question struck a chord with Mbogwa. Instead of dismissing the suggestion, he immediately took action. Right there and then, he pledged 100,000 Kenyan shillings towards the establishment of a girls' school. Inspired by his commitment, other well-wishers joined the initiative, raising approximately 300,000 Kenyan shillings. What started as a simple idea quickly transformed into a mission. Construction of the school began in September 2018. Within a remarkably short period, the project gained momentum and support from various stakeholders. By December 2019, the institution had been completed and inspected by the Ministry of Education. In 2020, Utumishi Girls Academy officially opened its doors and admitted its first group of students. For many families, the school became a beacon of hope, offering quality education and opportunities for young girls to pursue their dreams. However, one of the most emotional moments during Mbogwa's speech came when he addressed widespread questions about the dormitory that was destroyed in the tragic fire. Many people had been asking why the dormitory carried the name of his daughter. With visible emotion, Mbogwa revealed that years earlier, his beloved daughter had died in a horrific road accident in Nairobi. The accident was so severe that she was pronounced dead at the scene. For any parent, losing a child is one of life's greatest tragedies. The pain never truly disappears. As family, friends, colleagues, and well-wishers came together to support the grieving family, they contributed generously towards funeral expenses. After the burial, however, not all the funds had been used. Faced with a difficult decision about what to do with the remaining money, Mbogwa consulted his family. Together, they agreed that the funds should be used for something meaningful, something that will preserve their daughter's memory while helping others. When fundraising efforts for Utumishi Girls Academy began, Mbogwa saw an opportunity to honor his daughter's legacy. He donated an astonishing 10 million Kenyan shillings towards the school's development. Part of the money came from the remaining funeral contributions, while the rest came directly from his personal resources. Rather than allowing grief to define him, he chose to transform it to hope for thousands of young girls who would pass through the institution. To commemorate his daughter, a dormitory was named after her. The building became more than just a hostel. It became a symbol of remembrance, love, and a father's determination to ensure that his daughter's memory would continue impacting lives long after her passing. Sadly, the very dormitory would later become the scene of one of the darkest tragedies in the school's history. The recent fire that swept through the dormitory shocked the entire country. 16 young lives were lost in an incident that left families devastated and searching for answers. For Mbogwa, the tragedy carries an even deeper emotional weight. Not only is he mourning for the loss of students from a school he helped build, but he also is witnessing the destruction of a building that carried the memory of his late daughter. As he stood before grieving parents and mourners, his words reflected immense pain being felt throughout the school's community. He expressed heartfelt condolences to every family affected by the tragedy and called for unity as investigations continue. Following his emotional revelation, many Kenyans took to social media to express sympathy and admiration for Mbogwa. Many praised him for transforming personal tragedy into an institution that has educated and empowered countless girls. Others said the story made the recent fire even more heartbreaking, knowing the deep emotional significance attached to the destroyed dormitory. Messages of comfort poured in for both the bereaved families and the school's founder, with many praying for healing and strength during this difficult period. The story of Utumishi Girls Academy is no longer just the story of a school. It is the story of a father's grief, a daughter's legacy, and a dream born from simple question asked during a school function. What began as an effort to provide educational opportunities for girls became a lasting monument to love, sacrifice, and service. Today, as Kenya mourns the 16 students who lost their lives, the revelation about the founder's late daughter serves as a powerful reminder that behind every institution are human stories, personal struggles, and sacrifices often unknown to the public. As investigations into the tragic fire continue, the nation remains united in mourning, prayer, and hope that such a devastating incident will never happen again. May the souls of the departed students rest in eternal peace.